For about 2 years, I chased three different things online: a network marketing program, an Amazon FBA store twice, and eventually a course that promised the fast way. I lost money on two of them and time on all three. If you've ever felt like everyone else has figured this out and you're still the one standing on the sidelines, I want to walk you through the three mistakes underneath all of that. Because I don't think it was effort. I think it was the wrong strategy three times. Hi, I'm Glenn, and if we haven't met, I help men over 50 build a simple online income system, no tech skills, no second job, until the retirement gap becomes irrelevant. Here's where it starts. Mistake number one, and here's where most of that wasted time went for me. I kept chasing whatever looked hot at the moment. Here's what that actually looked like. Network marketing, when a friend told me the timing was perfect. Amazon FBA twice, when everyone online said it was the easy way in. And I wasn't lazy about it either. I researched, I invested, I showed up, but I was building around what was trending, not around what I actually knew. Here's the problem with that. It's not really about the tactic. When you're building around a trend, you're building around somebody else's timing. The trend fades, the market gets crowded, or the platform changes its rules, and suddenly the thing you built stops working. And it was never really yours to begin with. What actually holds up is something you build around what you already know. Something you could talk about for hours without getting bored of it, because that doesn't go out of style like a trend does. So if you take one thing from this first mistake, let it be this. What you already know is worth more than what's trending this month. That's not a consolation prize, that's the actual advantage. And if you're sitting there thinking, that's great, Glenn, but I really don't know what that thing is for me, that's exactly why I built the Digital Products Idea Generator. Answer a few quick questions, and it hands you three ideas based on what you already know, not what's trending this week. I'll drop the link in the description. Most men over 50 already have everything they need. They just haven't been able to see it clearly yet. Which brings me to mistake number two, and this is where I thought my money needed to go. I used to assume that I'd eventually have to spend money on ads just to get anyone to notice what I built. A lot of people will tell you that paid ads are the fast lane, and for a while I believed that too. I planned my whole approach around eventually needing to spend money to get seen. Here's where I landed instead. I don't spend money on ads, and I don't plan to. What I do instead is show up here on YouTube consistently. Because YouTube really isn't social media, it's a search engine. When someone searches, how do I make money online after 50? A video shows up for them. And it keeps showing up for months, sometimes years, without me paying a cent to put it in front of them. Skipping the ad spend wasn't some clever shortcut I found early on. It was a mistake I stopped making, and a little bit of patience I decided to have instead. And patience is really what mistake number three comes down to, and maybe what cost me the most time out of all of them. I used to wait until I had every single detail figured out before I let myself start. What software do I need? How do I handle the technical side? What if I get something wrong the first time around and it costs me? I'd sit with those questions for weeks instead of just beginning. Here's what I'd say as plainly as I can. You do not need to have every detail figured out before you start. You just need a starting point. The rest, you learn as you go. The same way I eventually did. Later than I wish I had. Waiting for certainty isn't caution. It's just a slower way of staying stuck. That one lesson would have saved me more time than the other two mistakes combined. And I think about this a lot, actually. After I lost my job in 2020, I didn't just sit still. I tried a number of things, but there was a pattern underneath every single one of them. Before I would ever actually move, I would overanalyze it to death, weighing it, researching it, waiting until I felt certain enough to start. And that overanalyzing cost me more time than any of the actual moves themselves ever did. It wasn't until years later, working part-time at a restaurant of all places, that something finally clicked. That's when I came across a free blueprint online, one that didn't try to sell me anything, it just showed me where to start. I stopped needing a perfect plan before I moved. I just needed a starting point. That's it. I want to ask you something in the comments before we wrap up. Which one of these three things hits closest to home for you right now? Chasing trends, avoiding ad spend the hard way, or waiting for certainty that never comes? I read every single comment, and I'd really like to know. So let's bring this back together. Don't chase whatever's trending. Build around what you already know instead. Don't wait to spend money trying to force attention. Show up in one place consistently instead. And don't let fear of missing some detail keep you sitting on the sidelines. 3 mistakes, 3 lessons, and honestly, 3 things I'm truly glad I got right. Now, I want to be honest with you because that's the only way I know how to do this. I've already put real pieces in place, products, guides, and a system running behind the scenes. What I'm still building right in front of you is this channel. I'm not going to stand here and tell you I've got it all figured out because I don't. What I can tell you is the same blueprint I mentioned just a minute ago is why I can clearly see the path now. And it's the reason I stopped guessing and started moving. If any of this sounds like where you are right now, here's what I'd invite you to do. Send me a quick message in the comments or just click the link in the description if that's easier. Once you're on that page, drop your email and the free blueprint will land in your inbox in just a few minutes. No download, no sales call, no money chasing you afterward. Just the next step from someone who's just a few steps ahead of you who's happy to walk it with you. The link is in the description. And once you've got that starting point, go ahead and watch the video that's up next. When you pair what you've learned here with what's in that one, it'll click even more why this actually works. But for now, remember, you are made for more than watching and waiting. So let's press on.